Hello, my name is Kat, and this is Kaylee, and I had and that's Goose. I'm full of cats today. Um, I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy on August 8th, 2018. I had a high starting weight in February of that year of 370 pounds. My program required me to lose a certain amount of weight before I was eligible for getting my surgery date, and the I can just see trouble is going to land on me sometime soon. Okay, all right. I'll let them play on their own. My program required me to lose a certain amount of weight before I could get my surgery date, and I had to lose 40 pounds. And I realized that to get below a certain BMI, and I forget what the BMI is. But anyway, so I lost that amount of weight, and then actually on the day of surgery, I was 50 pounds down because I continued to lose weight. And that would put me at 320 for my surgery. And then since then, I have lost, I have lost from last week to this week a total of 2 pounds, which brings my post-surgery loss to 96.2 and my overall loss to 146.2, which is awesome. I am incredibly happy with that. That's good. I mean, now I'm kind of anxious to get to the 150 pound loss goal, which is my next big milestone. But I've been losing at a pretty good clip. I've been doing my sort of up and down thing, but it's been pretty steady with the major exception of it wasn't last week, it was the week before, where I had a large drop down. But like I said, I'm fairly certain that was just a faulty scale reading, even though I did the scale 3 times. Every time it was a different thing, and I'm just like, you know what, after 3 times it's not going to do anything different, I'll just take the highest weight. But anyway, so I've been trying to scale back on the snacking, although today I completely did snack. I just had this strong urge and didn't really fight it that much to have some pecans around 2:30. I don't know what it is about 2:30. I've got to really look at it, but because it's not too far after I eat lunch, like maybe it's closer to 3. It was more like 2:30. I'm like, I just want pecans. But I have been trying to eliminate the post work snacking by just having dinner. I had been trying to have a small snack, and then have dinner with my husband when he gets home. But there was a couple days where he actually was home early, so that was great. We just ate early. And then there were a couple times where I just decided, I'm going to eat. I am hungry now, I'm going to eat. Because what usually would happen is my snack would be bigger than I'd want it to be. I would plan it to be a certain size, and I just, I would either have cheese or pork rinds, and pork rinds are just very hard unless you measure them out ahead of time, which I rarely do. It's just hard to gauge it. So I have just been having an early dinner and maybe having a small dessert when he's eating his dinner, so I feel like I'm still with him and spending time with him and sharing food in some way. But it's not, I don't think it's a problem. I mean, I'll ask him and see. He's incredibly supportive, so he will probably say, no, it's not a problem, even if he does have a little bit of an issue about it. But I love him, and he, like I said, he is incredibly supportive. Hello, Katie. Yes, my darling. Yes. Kaylee has been very needy. So, and she's sneaky with food. Yes, you are. They all get some wet food when I come home, and all of the rest of them, the 2 older ones have been with us for over 10 years each, probably over 13 years each, and so they have no problem with food. They know I'm not going to take it away, or I'm not going to try to capture them while they're eating. And Goose I'm pretty sure he was born in captivity, so he's just completely chill around humans. He doesn't care. You can touch him while he's eating. You can stand over him. He's just going to do whatever the heck he wants to do. He doesn't care. He's very, he'll run up to strangers and be like, "Hi, okay, I'm going now." Where Kaylee will hide from strangers, and she also gets very weird if you're around her when she eats, and then she'll take food off of her own plate and take it further away from us, or she likes to steal food from other cats. So I give everybody the amount of food that they need, and the fact that she will, like, if I turn my back on her, she'll steal food from other people or other cats. It really does not make me feel good, so I have to police the food things. So today is a support group day, and I'm getting a little bit of a late start because I had to use the bathroom when I came home because I had been constipated for the last 2 days, and I had smooth move tea at work, which I usually try not to do. I usually try to have it, I'll have it at bedtime, and then I'm usually ready to go in the next morning, like it works overnight, which is great. I try not to use it too often because even though my surgeon was fine with it, the person who runs our case manager is not. She doesn't like it or how it works in the body. She prefers Miralax and I forget, Metamucil or something like that. I don't know. I find that it works best for me, but I try to combine it with a little bit of Gas-X because it does create a lot of gas in the system as well. And so I came home and I'm going to need to use the bathroom. But after 2 days of not going, it was a good thing. So I'm sorry if that's gross for people, but it's, I usually do not have that much problem with constipation. And I wasn't even in pain. Like, I know a lot of people have painful constipation. I did not know. Oh, you've gotten the kitten food. There's a bag full of kitten food, and Goose has found it. So I'm going to have to do that in a second. I find that it does help, but it's a little traumatic to the system, so I try not to use it that often. I try not to use it at work, but I was uncomfortable this morning, so I decided I'll use it and see if I can be successful. I usually also sort of go up in weight when I'm constipated a little bit because, there's stuff that's not being released. But I've been at the 223.8 for 2 days in a row, so I'm interested to see if it goes down tomorrow after using the tea to try to clear out the system a little bit. Anything else that I want to put out there? I have been doing Noom, as a extra layer. I don't know if I would recommend it to anyone in our situation because A, I'm doing keto, and B, I have weight loss surgery. So both of those things are not really accounted for, and there's no way to it tells you a lot of information. It's good information. A lot of the psychology stuff is good, and I'm just but I have to translate it for use for me. I can't just take it at face value because there's I'll eat a lot of greens, fill up on less calorie dense food. I'm no, none of that is relevant to me. So I just sort of go yeah. So and then just go on with it and do what I need to do. But I do find some of it useful. I've committed at this point, so I'm going to go through with it and see if it can be helpful. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to anybody else. I wouldn't say, hey, you really got it. If you're in my situation, I think if you're not in doing this, if you want to try it as a weight loss program, sure, go for it. None of what it says is all that wrong. It's not particular. I don't know. I think if I wasn't, like I'd probably go keto first, and it's not that great for keto either. The nutrient density stuff is not what I really think is the most important. But I've been doing that, and I also have added in. This is like completely off topic. Hi, want to come over? I don't know how many of you are familiar with the fly lady. We're not usually in our arms. Huh? You've got some goop in your eye too. But it's a method of cleaning, and I had found somebody who was doing the fly lady and sort of like going back through the steps, and I had done it a little ways, and again, it's one of those systems. This system was made for stay-at-home moms, and that is great, and it's a good system, and I fully endorse it. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, it's probably perfect. Not being a stay-at-home mom, working full-time, I sort of have to adapt it. I have to figure out how to make it work for me and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. Because I like do a load of dishes every night, do a load of laundry every day. I don't need to. I simply do not need to. Not having children and it being just my husband and I do 2 loads of laundry the whole week, maybe 3 if we're doing towels. So it's not, like I have to, again, adapt it, but I'm trying to use the small steps because I don't think I'm horribly messy, but I'm not the neatest, and as you can see from my office, there's room for improvement. But I'm trying to keep like the kitchen and the bathrooms clean. I grew up in a household that was messy, and I think it was funny because my mom's mom, she was like super uber fastidiously clean, and everything was clean to an inch of its life and dusted all the time and everything like that. And my dad is kind of a slob, and my mom was caught in this place where she resented my grandmother's obsession with cleaning, I think a little bit, but also felt the need to live up to it, and then had 2 children who didn't give a crap about how clean the house was, and my dad who actively almost worked against her. He is just not, he piles things, and my mom said when she moved him out, she helped him move out of his first apartment when they got their house together. She was stunned to find out that pile of papers in the back of his apartment was actually a kitchenette. She didn't know he had a kitchenette. He ate all of his meals out, and he had just basically covered it with papers. I feel bad for my mom because I think she wanted to have a clean house, like part of her wanted to have a clean house, but she didn't want, fighting it, 3 people not helping, it's a hard thing. So she sort of gave up and didn't fight that fight. But that put me in this position where I have been, like, I hate and also don't have a clear idea about how to do deep cleaning. I sort of picked up all my cleaning myself. Very good at straightening. My office not included. But like I try to keep the house relatively straight, and so that with a 15-minute sort of go through the house in a vacuum, we could have guests over, because that was one of the things that my mom never wanted to have guests over because the house was a mess. And I never wanted to be in that position. And I actually had, when I was in college, I had a roommate who was a freaking slob. So much so that there was we sort of divided the room, and there was a invisible line in the room, and hers was piled, like, on one side of the line it was spotlessly clean, on the other side of the line it was piled up to your knees. Seriously, piled up to your knees. I do not know how I lived with it, but I didn't live in it, if that makes any sense. But anyway, so I've been trying out that, and I think the part of it, like, I've given myself the okay because my focus is still on the weight loss, but I've given myself the okay to bring this in because I think it's part of taking care of myself and like wanting the house to be cleaner, and like have a system to make it cleaner all the time, is, I think, part of just self-care and being able to, like, as I get thinner and as I get more mobile and as I get more energy, I'm able to extend myself out and see myself in the house and see my, like I do yard work, and the yard is still a little bit of a mess, but the lawn is mowed. So I think that there's parts of this that is just extending me and trying to make my whole environment more, and I'm seeing it as a self-care thing, and I'm giving it thumbs up so far. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, that is everything that's going on with me. And I hope you're having a good week. I'm continuing to fight the good fight and keep on the path to losing, and I will talk to you next week, and hopefully another loss, right?